Hello, welcome to Billy Ho's Sports. Big weekend of racing coming up. We've got a tag team event here. Fairgrounds Park and Turfway are teaming up to offer us a $1 pick five featuring an all stakes lineup. I'm going to do that instead of a regular late pick five. This is going to be anchored by the Louisiana Derby. It'll have the Jeff Ruby, New Orleans Classic, all kinds of your favorites. Both Oaks races will round that out. So we are going to get into this. Check out the previews. I think I got separate previews for Jeff Ruby, Louisiana Derby, and New Orleans Classic, all of those. So give those a look. We won't spend a lot of time on those races as we would others that we haven't seen yet. So let's get ready. Quick word about the giveaway. I've got 20-something Derby glasses to give away. So I'm giving away to the person who picks the winner of each of the 7 100-point prep races. The first person to post the winning horse wins a glass. Simple enough, right? Have to be subscribed, so go ahead and do that. We'll get that promo out of the way and hit that like while you're at it. Let's get into this. We're going to start with race number 9 at Fairgrounds, which is the New Orleans Classic. So let's look at past performances. Okay, if you watched the preview video, I kind of went down through this. Spoiler alert, we're probably just going to single Sierra Leone in this one, but I did want to touch on a few horses that I liked. Kinetic was one of them. Looks pretty good on paper. I think maybe a little bit outclassed in this one. Hall of Fame, big winner of the Mineshaft Grade 3, but didn't fare well as a 3-year-old. So if this one's up and coming, it's a possibility, but I still don't think that he's on the level of like a Sierra Leone or Bishop's Bay, be honest with you. San Siro, no. Maycox Bay did run a big one in that Mineshaft, but didn't get it done there. I don't think he'll get it done here. Touch Upon a Star, a whole bunch of state-bred races, seem to be highly thought of, second in prime power and everything else, but I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to let these 101s fool me versus state-bred stakes horses. He's got really, I mean, actually, he was second to Red Route 1, but that was to compare to this year's New Orleans Classic. That last year's New Orleans Classic is weak because Red Route 1, I actually hit him. He was not the favorite, but he was like 5-2 or something like that. So Red Route 1 would be probably 20-1 if he was in this race. So Touch Upon a Star is going to be a no-go for me. And one more bourbon, no thanks. I mean, I would normally, but not in this race. There's your boy, First Lasix. He's coming in. I mean, he runs anything close to a 97 probably wins this race, and that was a shitty, that was his Kentucky Derby effort or Risen Star. I don't know that he's gonna run. He's gonna run in the upper 90s if he runs this race. I think he's ready to go. All these works down here look pretty solid to me. I mean, they're just kind of some of them are good, some of them are maintenance type works. I always look at the previous work, not the very last work, but like maybe the previous work or two before that, because you always see like a real high ranking. And right here, Breezing 6 out of 55, 4 and 49. So I think he'll be just fine. Tarantino is an interesting horse. I think one day he will win a stakes race of graded stature. He's been really, really close in these grade 2, grade 3s, but I think maybe he will go back out west to get that done. So no thanks this time. Now we've got who I called KO in my video because it's Como Bino, I think, Amoidi or something like that, but I just call him KO for short. Interesting horse, taking blinkers off. I would not be mad if you had him in there. And then Bishop's Bay, who probably has the talent, the back class. I covered in the video how he just gave Arcangelo all he wanted down the stretch there in the Peter Pan, and they just lost a head bob. And of course, Arcangelo went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic that year. So strong horse there. So if you wanted to use the 7 and the 10, wouldn't be mad at you. But with a dollar ticket, I'm going to take a stand, and leg one is going to be the 7. So now we are going to jump over to, let's do this first. We'll jump down here to, I believe race 11 is the Oaks. That's one of ours coming up. So we'll get that ready. And then we'll jump over here where we're ready, Freddy, with the Bourbonette is leg 2. So tight field, track bias says we can go early pressers or closers. Those kind of bookend, and it looked like the maybe the closer to the rail you were out of the chute, you would be better off. But we are going for 300K in this Bourbonette Stakes. Resolve is a horse that I would have some interest in. Leonard Powell, 17%, going from turf to the all weather. So that's solid, 44% in the money, and a plus EV right here, plus 90. That's pretty good. Midnight Loot is a decent sire for this surface. Rispoli is a hell of a jockey, so I got no problem with Resolve if you want to play him. Seems to be trending in the right direction. Of course, something about her is Brendan Walsh and Declan Cannon. This is going to be one. This is going to be a use. I'll go ahead and spoil that for you, because this blowout right here in the Grade 3 Mazarine by a neck was able to get there, and then of course White Rocks and ran third in that next Cincinnati Trophy at Turfway last February. So that was just a little while ago, just a month ago. So second off the layoff is definitely a bet. 21% is Walsh in that category. So we're using the 2. And I know it's 5-1 morning line, but it's liable to be close to a first or second choice, as will admit Thomas Drury, big time trainer, Irving Moncada. These are just 2 sharp workouts. He's got a lot going on for him. This second place finish was going a mile. The previous to that, he won. So he's stretching his legs out a little bit. Win distance 7.3. That's more than enough. Sired by Blame. Very good looking horse. Probably going to use this one as well. These 2 together, Monica and Drury, are 22% over the last 60 days. And that's with 20 plus starts. So solid there. I was thinking about Bless the Broken because it was like a value play of mine at 11-1 in the Rachel and did hit the board. But declining, poor stakes record. William Walden, I don't care much for him. He's not his daddy. So pass on that one. Getting after it, no thanks. As catch can. Jonathan Thomas and Frankie Dettori. Another Woodbine horse ran well in Toronto, Mazarine. This I went back and watched this race. The Mazarine Grade 3 here, going a mile in the 16th. And I mean, this sucker was chugging. He had the MJ tongue hanging out down the stretch, just ready to pounce. And he couldn't get, he had a little bit of traffic trouble, Chaminade, who is back, or who's not riding this one, but Chaminade had him down the stretch, and then he weaved him outside, and then he just woke up. And I mean, he bursted down the stretch and nearly got to something about her. So I like that close on the surface. I like Dettori always. I know I don't know how well he's been doing lately, but 24, 20. Yeah, he's a little bit down. I do like him better on turf, but he can ride anything. So I'm going to probably use the 7. And then you have Golden Sunshine, who I was immediately dismissive of. But this is the one Chaminade's going to ride, and he rode it last time with the Maiden Breaker, because I thought, well, it took 6 tries to get to an 80K Maiden Breaker, and then I thought, well, if the horse is finally, because sometimes with fillies they might develop a little bit slower at first, and that's just my own opinion. I don't really have any data to back that up, but they're just very unpredictable as 3-year-olds. So that was her first start as a 3-year-old, and she immediately responded after a couple of months off. So a lot of growth maybe over the couple of months break could be dangerous. It's a Godolphin horse. It's Owen Hardy, who obviously has the two other horses on the Derby Trail. Poster, who will be running in the Jeff Ruby a little bit later. So maybe he's looking for the McPeak double of last year, where he's going to try to get him a filly in there now. So on to fixing to be is not for me. Just Ruthless, not for me. Now White Rocks, obviously this horse looks impressive. Uh, we were looking at the Cincinnati Trophy, and she was antsy in the gate. You see that? She was antsy in the gate, like she was just ready to just cut freaking loose. And I mean, when that gate opened, she shot out like a cannon, went right to the lead, never relinquished it. You could see she ran right out to 7, 8 lengths, and then Carrasco, I guess Vic Carrasco, uh, definitely finally got her under control a little bit better, and she just kind of cruised home, and they slowly ran her down. But it was still not that positive of a fast pace, 24:47. So still pretty reasonable, but she was flying. I'm telling you, they were not expecting that. And which two rivals would be admitting something about her right there? Well, I'm going to pass. I'm going to fade White Rocks in this one. I don't want if she blasts out like she does in these first two legs, the early speed could be a detriment because she's stretching out to a mile and a 16th, 2 turns. So very important. A little bit low, so you can see the 76 late pace. I think she's going to need more of this 90, but then this is not fast enough. So, and she's a youngster, so the bounce is obviously in the cards, and I'm going to plan on that. So I don't think I want any of the rest of them. I don't think the bracelet is second in prime power. So if one of these scratches out, give Brad Cox and Luan Mikado a look see, because this one was fourth in the Chaminade and just ran evenly. But I think maybe down the road, bracelet would be more of your liking. And we're going to pass on that one today. So we are going to go 4. We're going to go 2, something about her. 3, admit. 7, as catch can. And 8, golden sunshine. That's our leg 2. Now, back over to the fairgrounds for the Fairgrounds Oaks. And we're going to make it easy on you. Girl Math scratched out. Goals Delight scratched out last week in Virginia, both. Girl Math, I was interested to see running, but I don't like in this spot, but does get Pratt. Got a good rail post. So I will be somewhat surprised. And she did run in that Cincinnati Trophy. She ran 5th. So I don't know the McKenzie, and I've already said this once. The McKenzie crop this year, boys and girls, have not been what they thought they were. You can see 2.31 sire production index, which is solid, but that was like a lot higher than that. So they haven't performed. The 2-year-olds coming into 3-year-olds like they should. Mackenzie Street being one of them. There's a couple of other ones that have failed miserably. So I gotta wait and see on Girl Math. Let her beat me. Basically, what this amounts to is Good Cheer is going to be the single. So I don't know why well, I just want to go over a few of these. I mean, because Goals Delight was really good in the Rachel, but you could see Good Cheer just blew her doors off down the stretch. She was clear of third place by 6 lengths herself. And then Navaya is the wild card. Sherry DeVoe, Jose Ortiz has been on fire, nearly 30%. Sharp workout coming off the big 89 number in the maiden at 6 furlongs. Does have the sire City of Light to get that distance. 7.2 ought to be enough. So Avaya could, or Ava, I'm sorry, Ava could get it done. The other ones, no thanks. Bless the Broken, no thanks. There's Good Cheer. And I didn't see anybody else. Ultimately, we're single in the 7 in this one. So we will go ahead and queue up the finale. And then we'll jump over here and go to their finale. The Jeff Ruby steak dinners for everybody. So this one is still a grade 3, so I don't know why they haven't bumped it up. I mean, it's a 100-point Derby race. It ought to be a grade 2 at least. So I don't know. I think that's kind of dismissive, but anyway, whatever. It is what it is. So this one's going to be fun. I'm passing on the one calling card. Charlie's to Blame is a threat. Trained by Peter Urton, solid turf record, boasting two straight wire to wires. Kitten's Joy, 8.5 furlongs. He shot out of the gate to the lead. Reasonable but honest fractions, and took it to the house. So shot to do that again here, I think, with the right pace. But 15 to 1, I wanted somebody to be a little bit longer shot, but he has multiple styles, so he can press when he needs to. He pressed here to the second place down here, but they were I think he was just probably gifted the lead against inferior competition. It is a big class jump, but Charlie's Blame is one I'm interested in, as is California Burrito. Of course, the Battaglia win where he fought off Baby Max, who was coming out, and Maximum Promise, who's in this race as well. But that's another early speed horse. If you're not liking the early speed horses, you could fade these two. I wouldn't blame you for that. But California Burrito, good looking horse for Tom Drury, who's a very high percent trainer at this track. So you got Irving Moncada too. So we already talked about those two together. So I'm not fading them, but this one is the one I'm very interested in. Another Brad Cox, Luan Mikado. This one's Final Gambit, Judamont Stables. Big win, but it only got a 76 Brisnet figure for the miles. So this one could be a late runner, closer, and picking off. I would use underneath, but maybe just as the sire goes, not this time for the win. Passing on Flying Mohawk, even though it's got some good results. Baby Max is one of my favorites. I believe I don't think I picked it to win, but he's blinkers on and has just been running so good. Nearly got to California Burrito in the Battaglia. Won the Leonidas, so got a good record over this track. So nothing wrong with this one for Kelsey Danner and Abel Cedillo. Not really winning a lot of races, but I'm going to go ahead and use because he wins every now and then. So he won the Leonidas with Cedillo Board. So Saez defected. I didn't see who Saez is riding because I imagine he probably would have preferred Saez back of board this horse, unless Saez is probably going to be at Louisiana. So anyway, Giacoso, no. Innovator, I thought about, but making the switch to the surface, D-Wayne can surprise you as he did last weekend in the Virginia Derby. The LeCompte was a really good race in the slop. Got the definite juice, but the sire, I don't know that this one's going to be looking for the synthetic track. So a front runner, I don't think so. Not here. Poster, if we repeat this Remsen, it's a done deal. I think he's that good because he came right back off of that Remsen and ran third right behind John Hancock and Owen Almighty. And we've seen what they've done lately, especially Owen Almighty with that Tampa run that everybody seems to poo-poo, but I liked it. Maximum Promise, I might be overlooking too much for Kenny McPeak, but I had to take some stands here too, and I went against. The third in the John Battaglia was fine, but there's just better horses here. No thanks, Curvino. He's not joking. Got my attention too. The Holy Bull and the Jockey Club, just he didn't take to the dirt. But you take him, you get him back at Woodbine, and he's rolling. He wins the gray with Kimura aboard, and pretty solid. I would use him underneath in exotics because you're going to get good value 15 to 1, but I'm not going to put him on the ticket. So to round out this one, I need to go down a little bit, and it's going to be the 2469, which I believe if we pan up here, bear with me. Charlie's to Blame. Okay, I did use them. But I'm not using Burrito. I might have to rethink that, or either that or I wrote some numbers down. My apologies. But 2469, Charlie's to Blame, and Final Gambit. I think it might be 2369 is what I need to be doing. So scratch 24. I think I'm going to wait and see it on Final Gambit. I might pay for that, but it's going to be 2369. It's going to be Charlie's to Blame and California Burrito. And then obviously the 6, Baby Max, and then the 9, Poster. I think Poster wins the race. I think Baby Max is right there too. Those two, you could do a 69, be honest with you, and I'd be fine with that. I'm always fine with that. So let's jump to race 12 and hit this last one up. And we've talked about this, but after further review, I looked a little closer at John Hancock. I really like the inside post for him with Chunk of Gold, the closer on the outside, because he doesn't go right for the lead. He's going to file in right behind John Hancock. So he could get out pretty quick. He's got the sharp workout. Brad Cox has got him primed and ready. Pratt's ready to roll. So if he can get out on the lead, going a mile and 3/16, he can have a rail trip on the lead and maybe get some decent, comfortable pace. And he was pulling away by a half, going a mile and a 16th, 7.3 average wind distance by Constitution. I think he's got the juice to take it to the house, and I think he does. The more and more I look at it, even though I am backing Built, as I said in the preview video, but I'm more and more this John Hancock's looking quite dangerous. So if he gets loose on the lead and it's a decent pace, you can write it down. Tistastic was one I looked at pretty good, but it's just the wins just aren't there. The Kentucky Downs is the only win. The 2 on the turf are the only 2 wins he's got. So maybe he should have went to the synthetic instead of coming here. I don't know why. I don't know what Asmussen's up to with this one. But the switch to Rosario may help. Rosario likes to get him out quickly. He's a little more aggressive, so maybe that's what Tistastic needs. I'll still use him underneath because he's very consistent, and he will run down weary horses in this race. Yinzer, blah. This horse is garbage. Somebody pissed away $1 million. I'll tell you that, because this horse should have won one of these 2 maidens. You can see he had to drop all the way down to 55K to get a maiden win, and he's going to come right out here and make his debut. And if he wins this race, then I'll eat the crow. But I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole called. There is a use. That's D Wayne. That battle with Getaway Car down, even though Getaway Car looked like absolute shit last week in the Virginia Derby. So I guess that does make you wonder about Caldera, right? Because he was awful, but he just got out to way too fast a pace in that race. But Caldera, I think, is a strong horse. D Wayne races him in shape, and if he's running this well in his 3rd and 4th start, he's only going to get better. So Caldera is a must use, Built to use. He's my pick to win. He's got the good vibes at Fairgrounds with the Gun Runner win, just a close neck loss to Disco Time, and then of course that great race Magnitude ran where there was no way. Chunk of Gold clipped him for 2nd, but I don't care about that. He slipped in on the inside after the race was decided. I thought Vassimo might be worth a use too, but I'm going to pass on that. We're going 3 deep for leg 5, and it's 156. Like I said, the 5 and the 6 are Caldera and Built, and then the 1's John Hancock. So, okay, let's finish this thing off and put a bow on it. We're going to go over the 5 legs. I'm just using the numbers. So just match them with your horses in the program. But leg 1 was the single, the 7. That's the New Orleans Classic, Sierra Leone. Obviously, leg 2 was at the Bourbonette. That's 2378 is where we're going there. And then we got leg 3, which is the 7. Leg 4 is going to be 2369. Then we have leg 5, 156. So that rounds out the field. Thanks for watching. I hope I didn't keep you too long. Best of luck this week. And until next time, see ya.